For far too long now we missed the true flagship with dual SIM support, but no more. What's up guys, Pallav here from nothingwire.com and we have the brand new HTC One dual SIM. The look and feel of the HTC One dual SIM is identical to that of the HTC One. However, there are few significant and noticeable difference in the design. The first thing you would notice is that on the left side you have this lever to open the back flap. So yes guys, the back flap of the HTC One dual SIM is removable, although it's made of the same metal that the HTC One was, but HTC One's back flap is not removable. Now here you can see there's space for a micro SD card, so the storage is expandable. You have two SIM slots here, so the SIM one supports CDMA and 3G as well. Also this 3G speed is less than the 3G speed on the HTC One single SIMs. SIM 2 only supports 2G, and this is a dual SIM standby phone and not dual SIM active phone. So once you're on a call on any one of the SIM, if someone calls on the other SIM, your SIM will come unavailable. Let's close this. And that's about the different what's noticeable. Apart from that, this guy is slightly broader and thicker at over 10 mm than the HTC single SIM, and also it's slightly heavier than the one, mainly because of the removable back flap, as well as spaces for your they need to construct the space for extra SIMs and micro SD card slots, so that made this phone just a tad heavier than the HTC One. But otherwise you can see, if you keep both of this phone together without the back cover removed, then you won't be able to say which one is HTC One and which one is HTC One dual SIM. Now, as I told you, the design philosophy, look, feel, everything is identical to the HTC One, so we're not gonna go too deep in this. However, this is almost everything is metal. Then you have the Super LCD 3 glass here, the boom speakers on the front, which are kind of the most killer feature that came with the HTC One. Yeah. So on the front, the same 4.7-inch Full HD 471 ppi Super LCD 3 screen. On top you have the 2.1 MP front camera that records at Full HD at 30 fps. You have your proximity sensors and the notification LED light, then your boom stereo speakers that are so awesome. You have the HTC logo here, the home and the back soft buttons. On the left side you only have that lever to open the back flap. Below you have the micro USB port and your mouthpiece. On the right side you have the volume rocker, total aluminum metal. On top you have the 3.5mm jack and your power and lock screen lock button. Now the power button is one of our most hated placed button on the HTC One, because it's a big device and the power button is not exactly elevated from the body. We did like that even on the HTC One, and this essentially remains the same even here. You really need to fish for it first of all, and then you really need to go flat here and then press. You cannot just you can't find the button like this when you're not looking at. So initially you might have to actually look at the button and then press it. It's so integrated with the upper surface. Apart from that, you have the 4-pixel ultra pixel camera, the same one, along with the LED flash. Supports Beats audio, of course. Yeah, so pretty much the identical device, except a tad deviation in dimensions here and there, and of course the major feature is the removable back cover, although mind you the 23 mAh battery is still not removable. Now let's check out the display and the user interface. I'm going to switch this guy on and you'll see how quickly the HTC One dual SIM boots up. you see, we already got to the lock screen. I'll give it sometimes a few moments to load all the files, and we're already on. Yeah, there's a lock screen. I'm gonna explain that in a bit, but first let's check out the display. So it has the 4.7-inch Super LCD 3 display, square pixels. It's very bright and crisp, and the colors are deep and extremely good viewing angle. There you see, from here actually you'll be able to view that. Sunlight readability is also decent, although not top notch. Now let's check out the user interface, and this guy is powered by Android 4.1.2 and the brand new Sense 5 UI on top. Sense 5 UI is more refined and lighter than the previous UIs. You get to this lock screen when you boot up, and you have your time and weather there. All these widgets, dragging each of these up will take you to that particular application. You can bring down the notification here, and you can go to some quick function toggle there, and when you unlock, you straight away get to the blink feed, which has become so popular with the HTC One. So almost all of the elements in the user interface are identical to that of the HTC One single SIM. There are only a couple of differences, and the main difference actually is the dual SIM management, because this guy has 2 SIMs. So that's blink feed, where all your news and status updates gets integrated, and it stays there as a home page, and you cannot remove this. In fact, your leftmost home page is always blink feed. Now you can add additional home page, up to 4 of them. You can set this as a new home page, but the blink feed still stays at the leftmost. Yeah, you can also delete them. Okay, see, you can place widgets there. Yeah, see. So let's go back to blink feed and simply drag it down to update. Yes, it's updating. You can also select from various sources, and you can only have status updates or news from this particular sources displayed there. You can update your status from here. You can search the feed, and then you can add your topics and service, but they are already preloaded. You cannot add your own topic and service. You'll have to do with what HTC has given you, although there are a number of them. That takes you straight to the home page, and then your settings, weathers and other stuff. Yeah, so that's about it. You can customize this also, not to blink feed, but you can place these here, and you can have your own most used apps on the app dock. Again, the same notification bar, you can do away with all the notifications there. That's the quick function toggle bar. Yeah, now you would see there only 2 buttons, the back and the home, and there is no menu button per se here. So you would have to look for a menu button like you found the blink feed. So wherever applicable, the menu button will most probably appear on the right top corner. The system is very fast and responsive, of course, thanks to the 1.7 gig Grade 300 chip, and that's the main app drawer. So you can have them as alphabetical or most recent. You can also search for any app here. You can straight away go to Play Store. You can hide app like I've done with some of my games and other test apps. Yeah, you can also manage your apps from here, and then you can also change the grid style. I like this grid style better because it shows me more apps per page. Again, you see, very smooth, very smooth. So let's check out some apps now. Now we've seen mail. These are usual. You have the calendar, and you can go ahead and create your events from here. Yeah, and the keyboard is also it's cool to type, and you won't feel any problem whatsoever. It also autocorrect the ones, but the problem is whenever you type a non-dictionary word, like for example you're typing something in your own language, for example, then it automatically corrects that and places another word and does not give you the option of actually saving that particular word. So you'll have to take care of that. Like for example, yeah, now this is something in a separate language. Now it automatically corrects it to path. Now you'll have to remember that before going to the next word, press this so that you see per is saved. Next time when you type per, you'll get this. So you need to remember to save it. And it also acts as a remote because you have the power key acting as an infrared blaster. So you can have there is no India here. You can see. Gallery, and is one of the most blessed apps of the HTC One and dual SIM, I'll tell you. So you have the albums arranged in stacks, and then randomly you'll see some animation with some of the albums. There you can see. I drag it up, and there you see. So very nice animation. You can have this animation saved or share. Now I'm gonna tell you how. Suppose I'm gonna go to one album, and there are actually these two photos in that album, but it creates a kind of a 30-second animated videos of that particular album that summarizes the whole album. It's very useful. Suppose whenever you're coming from a trip and you have all the photos and videos out there, it automatically creates a summary of the whole trip. See, although I have all similar looking photos here, let's go and check out here also. You can see I did all these means, by the way. And you see I have photos and I have videos here. It's gonna give me a combination of those, and it's gonna give me a summary in 30 seconds. Okay, see, it's also gonna add a music of its own. Yeah, so you can add all these effects, and you can share them, and also see the menu button, you can save or share them. I kind of like that really. And then you have your media. Let's check out the camera. So it has the much celebrated 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera. Now ultra pixel is a marketing term to say much bigger size pixels than the other cameras pixels. So it only has 4 million pixels. However, those pixel size are significantly bigger than the pixel sizes of other phones, and it has a sensor size of 1 by 3.2 inch, which is not that big, but it's quite decent for a smartphone. So apparently the bigger the pixels, actually they are supposed to capture the light better, because the light does not have to break to go to all different kind of a pixel. Now theoretically that's perfect, but in practical it's decent under enough light, but when you go and click low light photography, the detail is missing. And the same thing we've seen in case of the HTC One as well as in case of the HTC One Dual. Under enough light it clicks very good quality photos with natural saturation and hue and perfect blacks, but then under low light the details are missing. Also generally observe the gold tone prevailing over almost all the photos. So that's the camera app. So you have those flash settings there, then your main settings, you have scenes, you have options of creating scenes. Yeah, so those are the scenes that you can choose. You have all these, yeah, full HD video quality, ISO and storage and all kind of stuff. So that's shutter release button, and it's absolutely no lag, absolutely no lag. That's a burst mode, and it shoots like an AK-47. Yeah, so that's how you record a video. And that's how you save. Another new feature is called Zoe. Now this particular feature will take a photo, will record a photo rather, from 0.6 seconds before you click the shutter button, and will continue to take that, do you see, after some time, so that it actually creates kind of a video file and not exactly photo. Do you see? That's only that much. So it's kind of a motion picture, so that you actually don't miss the action if the action is happening too quickly, and you also have kind of the sound and the sense of the environment when you take that photo. Very innovative idea actually. So there are some of the filters, and then you can zoom with this. So that's the camera. Let's check out the music player. Now it has pretty much similar UI. You can add media servers, and you have these settings. It also can download the information, and it also straight away can go to SoundHound. There you see, you can update your album art from Grace Note, and it can also give you that visualization. And that amazing output via speaker is due to what HTC call boom sound, courtesy of these two speakers. Beats enable, they are placed and they are faced right towards you, so that the sound is not obstructed at all. And probably the HTC One and then the devices after this, which have the boom speakers, gave out the most perfect and the best sound output via speaker we've ever listened to. Let's try again. There is bass. The notes are clear, as you can see. So I absolutely love the sound output of the bass. Let's try something different. There's a very, very heavy bass. It's nice. It's not flat at all. Cool. And check out how it plays the videos. So I'm gonna play a 720p, and so that's your 720p video. Let's check out how it plays that. So there is slight loss of color.
You guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
But now it's almost perfect. There's perfect sync between audio and video, no frame loss whatsoever.
I have received a message. From the universe? From the messenger.
The blacks are right here.
Our greatest masters are disappearing.
Yeah, so cool. Now let's check out the 1080p video playback. That seems the
You guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
so the colors on the Panda are black at some times but not so black at other times. So the blacks are not exactly what I would call the blackest black, the darkest ones. But there is no fuzziness, although there is a very slight color loss. You see red colors there. But otherwise, again, no problem with audio and video sync even on a full HD video, and no frame loss whatsoever. Cool. Let's check out the browser now. In the default browser, we are doing an HTML5 test, and it scored pretty decent. So 433 plus 3, which is 446 out of 500. It's decent, although not top notch. That's the menu. You can create new bookmarks and other things. Yeah, you can create new tabs. Yeah, let's see. You can also force desktop view, and you can enable flash player. So although this guy runs on Jelly Bean, but then HTC has its default browser with flash enabled feature, which is good because almost all devices that runs on Jelly Bean does not have flash player integrated with their browser. And then some other productivity tools. Let's check out the settings once, and pretty much the default settings, NFC, and that's the one you wouldn't find on HTC single SIM. So you have personalize, account and scene. You can add this many accounts, a lot of those. We also love that it has a Twitter sign-in option. Many of the phones you do not find that. Location, security, display. Other stuff, but all of these are almost identical to that of the HTC One. Now my phone is 32 GB version, so you have about 24.5 GB available, and because the dual SIM also supports a micro SD card, so you can still expand it. So I have another 16 GB micro SD card inserted there. So if you have another 16 or 32 GB, effectively you get a 64 GB device, which is more than enough to store your media. The 2300 mAh battery is not exactly top notch. Again, it gave us about 9 hours of moderate to heavy usage, which we would say is pretty okay, but remember to charge it every night so that it goes the whole day next day. So then that's your phone identity, then your software information. It says protected, but it runs on Android 4.1. Then it's your hardware information. Yeah, so that's about it. That's about the user interface, almost identical to the HTC single SIM except the dual SIM manager.